Hi there. Welcome to part 2 of my series on non-alcoholic beverages for the holidays. Part 1, we talked about all of the options that you have. Parts 2, 3, and 4, we're actually going to make some cocktails. So the first cocktail we're going to make is inspired by a viral video that was going around on TikTok, and it's been done in Italy for a long time also, but the premise of the video on TikTok was the combination of balsamic vinegar and soda water makes a beverage that tastes like Coca-Cola. So we're gonna make a cherry vanilla Coke, non-alcoholic, great for your guests. So our first ingredient, we're gonna put, I have a big glass. If you have a smaller glass, I'd recommend 1 ounce of balsamic vinegar, but because I have a bigger glass, I'm gonna put 2 ounces of balsamic vinegar in here. It's gonna go slow, I guess. So one of the things that's really cool about this beverage is that 1 ounce of balsamic vinegar, or almost any vinegar, contains enough acetic acid to help lower the blood sugar of what you eat afterwards. So if you wanna serve this cocktail before a meal, or have this cocktail before a meal, it's going to reduce the impact that meal has on your blood sugar. So that's a super cool, helpful tip when you're making these non-alcoholic beverages as well. I'm going to add 3 frozen cherries that I've thawed, frozen sweet cherries. I'm avoiding using maraschino cherries or cocktail cherries, because some cocktail cherries are soaked in booze, so you have to watch that, but both maraschino and cocktail cherries tend to be in syrup. So that adds a lot of extra sugar that we're trying to avoid when we're making these non-alcoholic beverages, because as I said in part 1, often non-alcoholic beverages compensate for not having alcohol by making them sweeter, and we don't want these to be another source of unhealth in your holiday, because we know we're gonna eat too many cookies and too much pie and too much candy and too much food in general, which is totally awesome and okay, but we wanna try and be healthy where we can. So these non-alcoholic beverages can help you do that. So we've got 2 ounces of balsamic vinegar, we've got our sweet cherries, we're going to add a splash of vanilla. So that's our vanilla and our vanilla cherry Coke. And I'm also going to add a little bit of monk fruit sweetener. I really like Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. You can also get stevia drops. Something that would be really good in here that has a bit more sugar is maple syrup. So you, again, depending on what your goals are, your aims are, but I highly recommend using a couple of drops of stevia or liquid monk fruit as the sweetener to keep the sugar down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna muddle this together. Now, I'm using the back of my cocktail mixing spoon because my muddler broke. But you can buy a muddler, anything with a flat end, you can use to muddle it. So then we're gonna create this nice little mixture here. And then it's really simple after that. You just wanna fill your glass with ice. And this is one of those opportunities, like I talked about in part 1, that adding fresh herbs to non-alcoholic beverages is a great way to make it look festive, make it taste good without doing a lot of work. So we're gonna add some fresh basil to this drink, totally optional, but I love the combination of balsamic vinegar and basil. I like the sweet and savory in my cocktails. And I didn't muddle the basil because basil can get damaged and turn bitter really easily. So what I learned in one of my many bartending classes is that if you slap the basil, it releases the aromas. So I'm literally gonna slap this basil. And then we're gonna just shove some of these leaves down the side of the glass here. And maybe we'll keep some for garnish. And then I'm just gonna top it with soda water. So if you have a soda stream, do that. I don't have one, so I'm just topping it with Perrier. And you can either just serve it like that so that it's, a little separated, or you can mix it up And then it really does look like you're having a glass of cherry Coke. And honestly, it tastes awesome. The first time I tried it, I was really skeptical because vinegar is a bit harder to consume for a lot of people, but highly recommend testing this out. Use a little less balsamic vinegar, a little more balsamic vinegar, depending on your tastes. Tastes just like cherry vanilla Coke with a little bit of zing to it. So it almost tastes like there's alcohol because there's that little bit of vinegar zing. But a great option with probably things you have in your home. So very accessible to you as a non-alcoholic cocktail for your guests.